Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. This is known as Kalam's Cosmological Argument, used to prove the existence of God, or more accurately, the presence of an uncaused cause before time itself. In this video, I will attempt to present this argument, as well as provide counter-arguments and rebuttals to this, learning as I research and make this video. This is my quest to find a rational argument for the existence of God, as I build a solid foundation of my core beliefs. First, however, we must learn about the type of argument in which this argument is presented. Known as a deductive argument, here is an example. Premise 1. All humans are mammals. Premise 2. John is a human. Conclusion. Therefore, John is a mammal. This is a basic deductive argument, if we accept the two premises as true, that all humans are mammals and John is a human. Then we must also accept the conclusion as true, that John is a mammal. The logical structure of a deductive argument ensures that the conclusion follows necessarily from the premises. Deductive reasoning, in this case, shows that the conclusion is an inevitable consequence of the premises. The premises can't be true and the conclusion to be false if the argument is properly structured and is valid. Validity is an important factor in these arguments, because arguments have premises that are true but a false conclusion, making the argument invalid. Deductive arguments are the heart of philosophy and other areas of reasoning because they provide a rigorous way to conclude with certainty, assuming the truth of the premises. Kalam's cosmological argument has its roots in Islamic philosophy and theology, as well as some Western philosophers. The key figures are Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, Al-Ghazali, Thomas Aquinas, and William Lane Craig. Each one has contributed to this concept and developed the strong foundations that it stands on. Let's break down each premise one by one and explore the arguments for and against, allowing us to make up our minds ourselves, because after all, philosophy, though it's based on objective reasoning, is still subjective. Premise 1. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. This premise is based on the principle of causality, which suggests that everything that comes into existence or begins to exist has a cause. In everyday life, we see examples of this principle in action. For instance, if you see a sandcastle on the beach, you would naturally assume that someone built it. Sandcastles don't just appear out of nowhere, they are the result of human action. Similarly, if you find a cake in your kitchen that you didn't bake, you would conclude that someone must have made it. The key idea here is that things don't just pop into existence without a reason. There's always a cause or explanation for why something came into being. This premise suggests that the same principle applies to the universe itself. It didn't just appear for no reason or out of nothing. There must have been a cause for the universe to begin to exist. For this premise to be proven false, we must witness something without a purpose, a beginning. There are quite a few counter-arguments for this premise, these being the discovery of quantum mechanics and the virtual particles, which in subatomic levels do not behave deterministically in the classical sense. Instead, they are quite random and indeterministic. The argument is that these particles come in and out of existence without any cause present. The counter-argument for this argument, however, is that we yet do not know if these particles are truly without cause. As science progresses each day, we find out more about our existence and the unseen forces around us, leaving this argument to be still unresolved. Another argument against the Kalam is that if this premise is true, it would conflict with the notions of free will, as Kalam supports determinism, which basically refers to how our actions are all due to our previous actions. Reflecting the first premise of everything beginning to exist has a cause. You are watching this video right now can be traced to hundreds of causes. You waking up, brushing your teeth, picking up the phone, and scrolling on YouTube until you have come across this video. This is determinism, and it's quite a scary thought. It challenges whether our actions, beliefs and thoughts are truly our own. However, the debate between free will and determinism is a whole other debate to be had. It is important to hear these counter-arguments, as it either helps us get to the truth or better understand the ones we have now. Premise 2. The universe began to exist. Pretty straightforward, and supported by the science today that the universe did have a beginning, a big one in fact, 13.8 billion years ago. The evidence and data behind the Big Bang theory are substantial and concrete. The cosmic microwave background radiation, for example, the fact that the universe is constantly in a state of expansion, and much more. There are a few counter-arguments, but here is one. The universe could have always existed. Perhaps even the Big Bang was just the birth of a universe within another universe. Or perhaps we are in a multiverse. We can keep going further and further back, falling into an infinite number of parent universes or infinite universes. This would prove the premise false and the whole argument invalid, because if a universe is infinite, then this set universe did not have a beginning. However, this counter-argument is quite problematic, as the existence of an infinite number of past events, metaphysically, impossible and leads to absurdity. This video explains the absurdity of infinite regression, so check it out for yourself to get a better understanding. Another argument against this is the quantum cosmology argument, which suggests that the concept of a definite beginning is challenged by theories in quantum cosmology, especially those that involve the dynamics of space-time at small scales. Such as example Hartle-Hawking model, the universe might have originated from a quantum fluctuation without the need for a singular moment of beginning. However, this argument does not necessarily negate the need for a cause or explanation of the quantum process itself. Therefore, this process could still be caused by an uncaused cause. This premise is extremely hard to disprove. However, it is important to know that day by day, science learns more and more. Therefore, we cannot simply believe this full-heartedly. Rather, we must compile a plethora of knowledge to build a foundation, as well as faith, which plays an important role in all aspects of life, even science. Seeing as these premises do still hold up against these counter-arguments, you'd think you're left to believe that the conclusion is true, and that there is a cause for our universe, our cosmos, and us right now. And it might be so, but we still need to understand that day by day, actual qualified philosophers, theologians, and scientists are discovering new truths or theories that might lead to the complete disprove or acceptance of this argument. Something to also keep in mind is that the Kalam only seeks to prove an uncaused causa, not God. Therefore, we must dig deep into this argument, as well as the extra materials to discover God. I am a Muslim, and only now am I truly taking a dive into discovering the external proofs of God. I have always been a strong believer in Allah, from the personal religious experiences I've had to the miracles I have been exposed to by the Quran. This video has only made my belief in Allah stronger, and this might be confirmation bias at play, but all the prerequisites of the uncaused causa, to my knowledge, match those of Allah, an immaterial singular entity beyond the universe and the cosmos, beyond the laws of gravity, physics, and those of quantum mechanics. My God is Allah, because of the things I have been exposed to and the experiences I have had. He, to me, is the right God, whose words are worthy of worship and adherence.